Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Aryan Malik. I'm currently a nursing student. Today is Study with Me Day 23. We'll be continuing our discussion on fundamentals of nursing, and today's topic is stress. So, stress can be a good or a bad thing. So it is good when it helps us. For example, it helps us in adapting to changes in our body and environment. For instance, when we are in the woods or the forest and we are running from a bear, our body enters a fight or flight response. And it can be bad when it is chronic or persistent. So, when there is no period of rest between stressful occurrences. So, what do bad stressful situations do basically, or even like in general, stressful situations do is they raise the blood pressure, they raise the cortisol levels, and they put a great amount of strain on the body. And it can be because of psychological issues, family drama, or money issues. Now, let's understand some key concepts which will better help us understand how the mechanism of stress in the body works. So, we know in the nervous system, it can be divided to CNS, which is central nervous system, and PNS, peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system mainly consists of brain and spinal cord, and one key component which is very important when we talk about CNS is brain stem. It helps control the heart rate and the respiratory rate. So when we are taking drugs like CNS depressants, which are like opioids and benzodiazepines like oxycodone and diazepam, what are they doing is basically they are depressing the CNS, as a result slowing the heart rate and respiratory rate. Now let's talk about peripheral nervous system. Basically, it involves a bunch of nerves that branch off of the spinal cord and they extend to all the parts of the body. Their main function is to control the somatic nervous system and the autonomic nervous system. Let's break down autonomic nervous system. It can be sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system is basically fight or flight response, and parasympathetic nervous system is basically rest and digest. So sympathetic nervous system is activated when the body is going through stress, and it speeds up the vital signs. We see an increase in heart rate, respiratory rate, and it is basically telling the body to go with fight or flight. While in parasympathetic nervous system, it put brakes on the vital signs, and it is basically telling the body to slow down, hence slowing down the heart rate and blood pressure. Sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system usually work hand in hand and balance each other out, but there are some key differences between both. So, sympathetic nervous system is basically the stress nervous system, and it is used in survival mode, while the parasympathetic nervous system is rest and digestion. It cannot really be used in um, a stressful situation because it is basically telling the body to rest, and one cannot rest in a stressful situation. So, and during sympathetic nervous system activation, the body is filled with adrenaline or epinephrine or catecholamines. What they basically do is they constrict the blood vessels that push the vital signs up, and help the body react in survival mode. So we have two types of catecholamines that work in the body, which is epinephrine and norepinephrine. And norepinephrine, and both help constrict the blood vessels. Basically, the body is high and dry, meaning there is high blood pressure, high heart rate, the lungs are enlarged from bronchodilation so that we can breathe more effectively. We also have dilated pupils to see better. Now, let's talk about somatic nervous system. So somatic, I always think of it as sensation. For example, when you're feeling hot or voluntary movements, that is when your somatic nervous system is in action. We usually assess it using neuro checks, for example, motor functions, while telling the client to grip, push, or pull, and also for sensation with sympathetic nervous system. Now, let's look at some signs and symptoms of stress: aches and pain, chest pain, chest tightness, GI upset, changes in appetite, exhaustion, trouble in sleeping, and decreased immunity. Now, let's look at some coping skills: exercising regularly, meditation, breathing exercises. As registered nurses, we can identify some community programs as well as refer the client to a counseling session based on their needs. That marks the end of this video. I hope you found the information helpful. Please stay tuned for more videos that will be coming out in the future. Thank you for watching.